Hello and welcome to my Labrynth deck profile. I've been meaning to put this one out for a while and now it's happening. So we'll jump in and I'll explain how the deck works and what we play. So, start off with the Labrynth cards. Play 3 Arianna. It's the only good one and you don't need Arianna. This card searches any Labrynth card. If a Labrynth card is, or you remove a card from the field using a normal trap, you can draw a card and then use the following effect to either special summon a Labrynth or to set a trap card. The biggest problem this deck has is that you can't activate the trap cards that you set off either of the effects, which is the only reason this deck isn't completely broken. But otherwise, Arianna's a great card. Lady Labrynth, it's a great control card in general because while you control set cards, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. It's pretty beefy, it's a quick effect to summon, and if you activate a normal trap or a Labrynth card, that's how you gain the quick effect. Plus, if you activate a normal trap while it's on field, or your opponent does, I think, you can set a normal trap with a different name from your deck. Again, you can't activate it that turn because that would be stupid. Otherwise, you need 3 of this, and it's great in almost any control deck that plays traps. You play 1 Lovely because it's the only one you can genuinely not summon on from hand unless you have Big Welcome. So you don't want to brick on this card at all, although it's probably one of the best ones because it rips a card out of your opponent's hand, provided a card leaves the field for any reason. Also, once per turn, you can set a trap straight from your grave, just every turn, and just keep recurring resources. So it's probably one of the best ones, but you don't want to play it any more than 1. 2 Lord of the Heavenly Prison. You could take or leave this card because you have Lady. You don't really want to be breaking on too many monsters, which is why I haven't maxed out on this. But it's still a very good card because resetting all your resources from deck and building a board plus summoning a 3k chunky body is just going to win you games. So it's just a really good card. 3 Ash Bottom. It's great in any format at the minute. It's just a mandatory hand trap to play in almost any deck, so no surprises there. We play 1 spell, which is Prosperity. I was playing Duality, but sometimes it conflicts. So Prosperity is correct. Because you can look into your next hand, find a missing piece, get more resources. Extravagance isn't too wrong either. You just probably want to keep a lot of your extra deck outs, because you can play a little toolbox in this. So Prosperity, at least you can fabricate what you banish. Then we have Big Welcome Labrynth. This is the most broken trap and yet the cheaper one for some reason. So this card summons a Labrynth from hand, deck, or grave, and once per you can use 1 effect per turn, which is a bit sad because you can't follow up with the second effect. But the second effect you can use as a quick effect because it's a trap. You can banish it from grave, and if you control a level 8 fiend, you can return any card your opponent controls to the hand. Otherwise, you'll just return your Lady Labrynth and recur that instead, and then proc a load of Labrynth effects, because they all get triggered if things leave the field. And then the worst one, and the most expensive one, Welcome Labrynth, summons a Labrynth from deck. Would be good if any of the Labrynths were remotely okay, but it's not. And you can't even summon them from hand or grave. The best thing about this card, which isn't saying much, is that it can recur itself from grave when you activate a normal trap. But yeah, you need to play it at 3 because you've got to win somehow. Skill Drain, it hurts your opponent more than it hurts you. You're summoning big 3k beats, sticks, and basically playing 2008 format. Plus with extra traps that actually do things. So Skill Drain's busted in this deck. To play it. Because, again, like, what's your opponent going to do with no monster effects? Other than activate Cosmic Cyclone, because they're maining it and they're a good player. 3 Infinite Impermanence. It just... helps you interrupt combos in certain places that might just make the loss a little easier, or you might be able to deal with a threat when you try to play second, but it's not going to be any use because, you know, if you're going second, you're not winning. 3 Dogmatika Punishment. You can generate a ton of advantage by sending cards you'd rather be playing from the extra deck to the grave. So you just draw cards off Garura, pop cards with Entis, put things back with Donna or Omega. We'll get into that later. You can generate a ton of advantage off Punishment, and it's literally the only form of draw power you have in the deck that isn't Prosperity. Terrors of the Overroot. Play that too because you can set it off of Lady, Heavenly. The likelihood of you doing that, very low. It's just a decent trap to have as a different name. It's got a decent effect that can interact with a few of the graveyard effects and then make it awkward for your opponent because then you clog their field up with set cards that they can't flip up. It's a good card. So yeah, play it too. 3 evenly matched. As I say, this deck is terrible at going second, and the only chance you have at winning is drawing anything that can, you know, break a board. Which, again, wishful thinking. So you have to play the evenly, because it's a trap. You can constantly keep setting it if you're genuinely in that position, and it's just busted. 3 Solemn Judgment. I don't know why most Labyrinth players are maining this card.
The entire community is wrong. Play Judgment.
Okay, so God has spoken. Judgment, you know, our God is, you know, saying we don't want to lose to evenly matched. We don't want to lose to Lightning Storm. And do you know what's even funnier? When you need this card, when you really need this card, you never have it. So then there's 2 Solemn Strike because, again, it's okay at going second. Like, if your opponent's got a board, you can kind of bait out a negate and then spell speed 3 that and go, nope, I'm going to pretend that I'm in a better position than you, and then proceed to lose in turn 5. Well, at least you can try. Nobody says that you can't try. So then we go to the extra deck. Probably the most useless part about this deck and the best thing about it. 3 Entis. It pops a card when it's sent to the graveyard. Punishment, good card. Nothing really more to say on this. It is amazing and should be a 3 of in every deck. In fact, maybe Nadir should be in a 3 of in every deck, along with Punishment.
If you ignore Kashtira hard enough, it doesn't exist.
Yes, that is true. God has spoken again. Kashtira doesn't exist. Garura. Draws cards. As I say, draw power is important. Don't make the dipstick mistake I did by sending this off of Punishment when you'd already prosperityed that turn. Apparently not a good idea. Because you just look like a clown shouting at your opponent. Why doesn't it resolve when you didn't read cards? Typical Yu-Gi-Oh player, am I right? Donna, put cards from Banished. Never comes up. Just cool to have, well, to know that it's there. Omega. Probably one of the best targets of Punishment because it recurs back all your resources. And just by having these 2 in general, you can slowly put your entire deck back together, which I think is hilarious. Not that you're going to be living that long anyway. And then if for whatever reason you can normal summon Ash Blossom paired with the Judgments and Solemn Strikes and getting your ass kicked and having low life points in general because this deck sucks, if you make M Punisher, that is the only time this deck will really show you who's boss. Like, M Punisher is the best Labyrinth card in my opinion, and it's not even caused by Labyrinth. You literally normal summon Ash Blossom and make it like a degenerate. Dingirsu, again, don't make the same mistake I did. Some of the Labyrinth block you into fiends. Apparently Dingirsu isn't a fiend. I know, that is complete and utter caca. Pain Gainer, you put it over the Dingirsu after you sent a card to then destroy cards. I don't know what the requirements are. It's just a fancy looking spider that is soon covered by 7/6. This is a 4k beat stick which just runs over big things. I like this card. Nobody ever reads its second effect. Doesn't matter, the second effect never ever comes up. But if it does come up, your opponent loses. Read it and you'll see why. It'll be on the screen. Zeus. Send all cards on the field to the grave. Yeah, this is kind of a double-edged sword with this deck, because the minute you spend any time putting a board out, if you have to activate this card, you basically lose if they're not already in killing range with the Zeus. So bear that in mind. Muckraker. It summons a Lady Labyrinth back from the grave. Paired with a welcome or a big welcome, it makes for an interesting OTK. Well, not quite an OTK, a nearly OTK. So it's flashy, it's a secret rare. It makes a card, you know, and you attack with the card that it summons back. Yeah. And then Tri-Brigade Bucephalus, the only Tri-Brigade that doesn't actually belong in the Tri-Brigade deck. Along with Muckraker, actually, my bad. Literally has one job. Send Garura from extra deck to grave, and then if you don't know what I'm talking about, it has 3/5 attack, so you can basically out an end punisher if your life points are lower. Judgment, good card, wink wink. Out the end punisher and then proceed to send Garura from your extra deck to draw a card. So if you haven't lost by that point, you'll see why the deck's cool. Otherwise, if you're like me, you'll have given up a long time ago. So that's been me explaining Labyrinth and why I love, losing with this deck. Like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think, give me criticisms, that's fine. I'm fed up with this deck in the first place.
Well, that told me for sure. I'm going to buy 4 of these cores. Hell yeah.
Yeah, do the good stuff. See you later.